Good morning, everybody. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ and all the saints here in Central California. I was hoping I could be done with this particular issue, but I'm not. We, we still have this, well, we have this guest wireless issue going on. Um, and if you'll recall, I believe I've made a video about this already. Basically, what happens is the gateway of the guest wireless network stops responding. Um, So we've been trying to figure that out. So what I thought I'd do is kind of run down what we've done so far, troubleshooting steps we've taken, and yeah, see if you guys have any ideas. And then, not to give it away, spoiler alert, I may not even need those ideas, but let me share something here. Let me move it over here so you don't see me looking off to the side all the time. And get Zoom session back. Share the screen. Actually, let's just share that. All right, there we go. So, yeah, what we were seeing is basically just periodically, randomly, no rhyme or reason, the gateway would stop responding. I have this software here called Ping Plotter, which is running on my other laptop. You can look it up. Ping Plotter is just basically a more graphic trace route, basically. But what does is gives you a very graphical representation of what, well, here I can do one real quick. Let me show you what Ping Plotter looks like. Ping Plotter. So I use this to basically monitor the gateway on the guest network. Let's close this and let's do something not on my network. Let's just go out to you know what? That's going to give away too many internal details. So basically what I'll do, I'll just show you the web page for Ping Plotter. Hang on, let me share my screen again. I'm gonna stop the share. Now my face is big. And let me get a web page going that's got that info on it. Sorry about the delay, but you know, you guys are going to be curious about Ping Plotter, so I want to show you what it is if you don't already know. See if we got some pictures of it here. Okay, there we go. All right, let's share the screen again. Where'd Zoom go? There you are. And let's just share this one. There, so you can see this is Ping Plotter. And like I said, it's basically a graphical trace route. So here you can see in this picture over here on the right, you give it a destination, a target as it calls it. So you ping that target, and it will tell you every hop along the way to that target, the latency of each hop along the way to that target, and then it'll give you a graph of the latency or response times of that target. If it stops responding, you'll see it turn red. And so that's how I can catch the issue, is when Ping Plotter just turns red, meaning that the target's not responding, and it'll just stay red. You see a little red spike here. I would see nothing but red over here on the, on the graph. So yeah, that's what was going on. That's how I would notice it. Let me go ahead and share out my notes again. Where did you go, notes? There you are. So let's share those. All right. So, we tried catching the client when it was happening. Um, couldn't do it. Well, let me back up. So when we saw that happening, um, what I did is start running a Wireshark capture on that particular VLAN. And what I was seeing was this, basically. Um, you see it? This isn't a filtered display, but just over and over and over. I mean, page after page after page, you'd see, who has this IP address, tell whoever. Who has this IP address, tell whoever. Um, and then you would see, well, actually, what you would see mostly is the firewall responding with, um, yeah, this is my address, and here's where I am. It's like over and over and over. And it was different clients could cause the problem at different times. So, I mean, here down here at the bottom, these are some phones that I thought, okay, it's just Galaxy phones. And then an iPhone did it. And then on another day, an Android did it. Oh man. So I called Palo Alto and said, hey, your firewall isn't responding periodically. And they said, oh, you're having an ARP flood, and we can't protect from that. Really? A firewall can't protect from an ARP flood? He said, no, because the network's doing what it's supposed to do. It's responding to ARPs. Okay, so what can I do? Said you need to talk to your switching vendor and set up broadcast flood protection up above the firewall in the switch. So I did. I called Extreme, said, how do I do that? And they said, okay, well, here's one way you could do it. Sent me an article, how to configure rate limits on the upstream switch from the firewall. Problem with that is the upstream switch, my entire WAN runs through that. So our firewall we don't have like a discrete connection for each service. Um, we have aggregated Ethernet ports on the firewall, which in the Cisco world, I guess would be a trunk. So basically we have multi-link trunks going to the firewall from the upstream switch, and the different networks are just tagged VLANs on that trunk. I really didn't want to mess with that switch if I didn't have to, bottom line. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to take this all the way back to the access points. So basically, I checked here. I mean, you can see up here, I went to all these different switches, found out the ports that the APs were on, and I configured rate limits on all those ports. Said, okay, hopefully that'll do it. Put it in and seemed promising, but a few hours later, the problem resurfaced. After I'd put in all that work on all those switches. And this is just a small sampling here. I mean, I don't know if I put the rest in. No, I didn't put the rest in these notes. But yeah, pretty much 3 times this is what I put these different rate limits on these switches. So that didn't work. So went back to the wireless controller and said, okay, well, let's just put these guys in a blacklist. And so they showed me how to add them to a blacklist. And I'd add them to the blacklist and I'd disassociate them. And but still that would take care of that one client. As soon as I disassociate, by the way, as soon as I disassociate the client, the wireless client from the network, those ARP requests just stop. Or the ARP traffic stops. I don't want to say requests, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I was really pulling my hair out over this. And then the other morning, it was happening again. And this is the first time it happened to an employee. And I happen to know it's an employee because this person here, April, um, I don't know who April is, but this was like 5:30 in the morning. that I caught this. Yeah, I was here at 5:30 in the morning. Um, I caught this and it was over in our cafeteria. The cafeteria isn't open at 5:30 in the morning, so the only people it could have been is one of the employees. And so I grabbed the MAC address off the Wireshark, looked for that device, found it, and for some reason, on a whim, or maybe God told me, um, not letting a voice, he just gave me the idea. I decided to not only look by MAC address, I put in the IP address, and then there were two devices out there with the same IP address. Now, I tried to ping this top one here. Well, I disassociated this guy right here, this April S23. Disassociated that, kicked it off the network. And then I tried to ping the IP address. It didn't answer, but this one was still showing up. And a few minutes later, she showed back up. I'm thinking, okay, there's probably something wrong with our DHCP setup. So what I did is I went into, do I have it documented here? No, I don't have it documented here. I have it in my other notes, my actual change notes. Oh, and before I go too far, let's see, let me get this up. Where's my little drag bar? Can't find it. I checked I'm trying to talk here. I checked the statistics on the port to see how often we exceeded the flood rate on that when that April showed up. And this is the AP she was on, dietary 106, and flood rate hadn't been exceeded. So whatever was causing the issue, it wasn't due to an ARP flood because the switch would have stopped it. Then we took a closer look at the packet capture. And then that's when we started looking, wait a minute, the ARP flood's coming from, this whole time, tunnel vision, right? And just seeing ARP flood, ARP flood. But I wasn't really looking at where it was coming from or where it was going to. So the ARP flood was actually coming from the firewall. What? And given the fact that the DHCP on the firewall was showing two different machines at the same address, I started to think, maybe something's wrong with the firewall. So let me look at my other notes real quick and see if it's something I can show you or not. Hang on just one second. I'm going to open them up over here where you can't see them, hopefully. Why did you open up twice? Anyway, let's see. Adjustments to guest wireless. Uh, I don't think. Oh yeah, I can show you this. Yeah, I can show you this. Hang on, let me stop the share and share and make sure there's nothing else up there that's going to give anything away. Okay, gonna share. Oh, I can't see. I'm sorry. That's my notes. There we go. Network changes. So I keep a document. Every change I make on the network, I document it with screenshots. It's a great idea. Everybody should do it. So what I did was on our firewall here. Let's see if I can zoom this in a little bit and make it a little easier to see. Where's the zoom? I think it's view. There we go. All right. So one thing I did is, so our DHCP server runs on the firewall. One of the things I did was before the timeout was set to 16 hours. Why was it so long? Because employees were using guest wireless to begin with to connect their phones, and they were complaining that they were having to re-authenticate multiple times during the day. And so I was trying lots of things to get them to not have to re-authenticate during the day, and this was one of the things. We've since created another employee network for them that they didn't have to re-authenticate, which incidentally, that other employee network also drops into the same guest VLAN. It's just that they have a pre-shared key to authenticate, and our guests have a web splash page where they have to read the terms and conditions and click I accept. And our employees were getting tired of doing that multiple times during their shift, and I don't blame them. So that's why it was 16 hours before. Since only hospital guests are using this now, I changed it to 4 hours. And then also over here, and this is the command to restart the DHCP process on the firewall. Debug software restart process DHCP. So make a change like that, just like on a Microsoft server, you got to restart the DHCP server. So then the other thing I did was go to the guest wireless controls on the wireless controller, the VLAN setup, or I'm sorry, wireless LAN setup, WLAN, and also change that to 4 hours. 14,400 seconds is 4 hours. And yeah, so we did that. And since I've made these changes, we have not had the issue recur. So I'm not sure what we were fighting before, if it was if it really was just a DHCP issue, or if it was I don't know. But at any rate, sometimes the most surprising things can fix the problem, and you got to think out of the box sometimes. Sorry, I'm looking for my notes again. There they are. So yeah, ever since that, we have not had another incident. And Palo Alto even gave me a special filter to run on the firewall, because what we wanted to find out was if it truly was that the Palo Alto was just spewing out ARP replies. We still don't know why a client asking for the gateway address of the firewall would cause the firewall to spew out so many replies. We don't know that yet. But what I know is that adjusting the DHCP timeout, or the least time on the DHCP server, and the authentication time on the wireless controller to both 4 hours. Since I've done that, we have not had the issue return. So that's very promising. So I'm hoping that did it, but hope is not a what's our strategy. So I'm gonna see if I can pick this laptop up and show you without unplugging it or doing some kind of really weird things. So this is what we're doing now. Oh man, is that even gonna show up? Yeah, I kind of see it now. So we got Wireshark going on one side. Let's see if I can pull this out just a little bit more. There we go. We got Wireshark going on the one side, and there's Ping Plotter going on the other. And as you can see, um, Ping Plotter's looking good. It's all green, got good response times. And all I'm really watching is in Wireshark, I set up a capture filter to just show me ARP traffic. So yeah, that's I'm hoping that's helped. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow, because that's when my CIO really notices it happening is when it's on my day off. I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I only work Monday through Friday, and I'm sorry, Monday through Thursday, and I work 10-hour days. So I'm not here on Friday. And of course, if it's going to happen, that's when it's going to happen. It has not happened since Monday, Tuesday morning. So it's gone 2 days without a hiccup. And that's pretty good. But I'm not going to get, overconfident and say, yeah, that solved the problem. So I'm hoping that solved the problem. So at any rate, we got some other cool stuff coming up in the coming months. Um, we're going to switch over internet service providers. We have some radiologists that connect remotely. We have a special circuit set up just for them because they've said for years that our internet circuit was too slow for them. So we set up a second internet circuit so they could connect to the VPN and look at radiology images. And that's about to change to a different provider. So we're going to be moving that over. And other than that, the new boss has come in and he's very security minded. So most of the changes going on are security related, and I ain't going to talk about those. So besides, he's doing all those. We're just kind of sitting back and watching, wind him up and let him go. So anyway, that's all I got for this week. That's enough. I've rambled on long enough. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and as always, keep those comments coming, keep the prayer requests coming. You can pray for me that I just can handle all this on my own. And yeah, and to all you people that say stop bringing up Jesus at work, oh my gosh, get a life. I'm going to bring up Jesus all the time, every day, all the time. Jesus loves you. This I know, for the Bible tells me so. So on on that grand philosophical note, I will say, see y'all next week. God bless. And where is the stop button?